Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And that breaking news is happening right now in Detroit's west side. That's where 2 people are dead after a shooting at a busy street corner. Right now, police have shut down that intersection, but so many questions remain.
That's right. This is happening right along the Southfield Service Drive at 8 Mile, with officers working to figure out exactly what happened. Mara McDonald is live at the scene. Mara, what can you tell us so far?
Kimberly, we just got briefed by DPD, and the bottom line to all of this is we've got 2 men who are dead who shot each other with the same gun. It is bizarre. Let me show you. The scene is still active out here, and we've got to be careful with what we show you because there is a man who is dead on the ground. And this is very strange. The man who is deceased seems to have been driving a black Dodge Charger, and he looks young to me. I mean, probably 30s. There is a known panhandler who sits in his wheelchair in this intersection. He's a double amputee in his 60s. For some reason, these 2 men got into some sort of fight out here. It's unclear over what. DPD isn't sure, but one of them produced a gun. Also, DPD not sure which of them was armed. They fought over this gun. 1 shot was fired. They fought some more, and both of them have ended up being shot and killed by each other with the same firearm. And I'll tell you, people who drive home this way, who are so used to seeing that panhandler here, you know, most of people stop and give them a couple bucks. They told me they simply can't believe what's happened out here. Take a listen.
I'm shocked. I'm totally shocked right now because I see him this my way home every day. And to see him laying there, man, to see that wheelchair and him not in it, it got my heart just racing. Like, where is he at?
Back here live. So we've got one of these men is dead on the scene. The other man who was in the wheelchair was taken to Providence, pronounced dead on arrival. I'll tell you, homicide is out here going to these various businesses, trying to find some video to see if they can figure out what led up to what is truly one of the more strange things I've seen in quite some time. We're live on Detroit's west side right now. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara, thank you. Our other top story tonight, police and community leaders were out canvassing a neighborhood on Detroit's east side.
They were looking for clues in the fatal shooting of an 11-year-old, which happened Sunday night at the intersection of Beaconsfield and Corville. Sean Lay live with more on this. And Sean, the chief was out there with them, right?
Absolutely, because to get out there, the chief said from the start, and DPD said from the start, look, we're going to need the community's help, the public's help to get a leg up, some kind of clue here, because a car drives by the kids roller skating, shots are fired, the car takes off. So they need to go door to door to find out if anyone saw the car. Did doorbell cameras catch a glimpse of the car so they could get something to go on here? Also tonight, Devin, we're learning about a possible motive in the shooting of an 11-year-old boy.
We're going to be walking the neighborhood with our community groups.
Working to track down a child killer on Detroit's east side. Detroit Police Chief James White, along with other community members, going door to door in the area of Beaconsfield and Corville. This is where 11-year-old Latrell Mines was shot and killed as he played with his friends outside Sunday evening around 7. He and the other neighborhood kids were roller skating. A car drove by, stopped, and opened fire. Latrell was hit. He later died at the hospital. An outrageous act of violence, and the only way to track down the person who fired the deadly shots at kids playing is to be out where it happened, asking neighbors what they saw.
Anything unusual, anything around that time of 7 p.m. Sunday night that may have been different, anything that someone may have captured on a video system that we can use to bring some justice to Latrell's family.
Tonight we are working our sources to find out more about how and why this could happen. We are learning that the shooting that looks like a random drive-by shooting likely was not random. That 11-year-old Latrell, sources believe, was the target of the gunman. Sources tell me that 11-year-old Latrell was apparently involved in a dispute with a teen who has ties to a gang in the area.
This is about an 11-year-old child who was out front playing, and I'm hopeful that, that would tug at the hearts of folks and say, if I got anything or I know anything, I'm going to do everything I can to bring justice to this family.
Absolutely, that's what the chief is hoping for. Maybe they'll be getting those answers as they're out there canvassing that neighborhood. And guys, 11-year-old shot and killed while roller skating with his friends. Absolutely mind-boggling. Then to find out perhaps it is not random and a 13 or 14-year-old may be the suspect here. We'll keep following this, but it's not getting any better. This is getting worse. Back to you.
So sure sounds like it. All right, Sean.
Gosh. A 35-year-old Romulus man is facing murder charges in the death of a couple on the Lodge Freeway. Prosecutors say it all started on January 6th near Greenfield and 8 Mile. They say Angel Melendez Ortiz fled from police in a stolen vehicle, reaching speeds of more than 100 miles per hour. During the chase, he's accused of driving the wrong way along the lodge until he was stopped when he hit another vehicle head-on, killing both passengers. Those passengers you see here in the picture were the parents. It was the parents that were in the car, parents of 6 children. If convicted, Melendez Ortiz faces life in prison. Now to our exclusive WDIV poll and the startling results showing most Michiganders don't like either front runner in the race for the White House.
Poll shows 76% of voters want a candidate other than Joe Biden on the Democratic side. 62% of voters want a candidate other than former President Trump on the Republican side. Will Jones live with us tonight. Will, people on both sides of the aisle sounding the alarm over the numbers that we've seen.
Devin and Kimberly, I spoke with a Democratic and Republican strategist about the current state of the presidential race, and 10 months out from the general election, what they both agree on is President Joe Biden is in trouble here in Michigan.
The 2024 general election could be a replay of 2020 at the top of the ticket, but with a different result. According to a new WDIV Detroit News poll, if the election was held today, 46% of Michigan voters said they would support Donald Trump, while 38% would choose Joe Biden.
I think it'd be a mistake to read into this being about Trump being popular. It has much more to do with Biden being very unpopular.
I'm not convinced that this is fixable with this candidate. So if you're a high-level Democrat, you should be focused on, getting the president to give the LBJ speech, right? If nominated, I won't run. If elected, I won't serve.
According to the poll, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer would win in a matchup against Trump in Michigan. California Governor Gavin Newsom would fare a little better against Trump than Biden, but would still lose. The poll also found former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley would defeat Biden in Michigan.
Regardless of what you think of Trump's behavior, America seemed to work a little bit better.
The president has been out making an argument that you have to vote to reelect me to save American democracy from Donald Trump. The voters don't care about that as much as he wants them to. The voters care about issues that affect them and their families directly.
Michigan has 15 electoral votes up for grabs in the race to 270. Both Biden and Trump won here before. Before Trump, the last Republican presidential candidate to win the state was George H.W. Bush in 1988. Devin, back to you.
Really something, Will. What are the concerns then about the down ballot races in light of what we see in the poll?
Well, Devin, particularly among the Democrats, they're very concerned that Biden could be a drag on the state house makeup and who the state sends to Congress.
Yeah.
Devin?
Yeah, that open Senate seat, certainly among them. Yeah, all right, Will. We are all in on the Detroit Lions. All quiet right now. Live pictures of Ford Field. It will not be that quiet late this weekend. Going to be rocking Sunday night for the first ever playoff game in that building. They are taking on Matthew Stafford and the Los Angeles Rams in the first game of the wildcard round.
We got Bernie here now for the Lions. I guess one of the big questions is about Sam Laporta and his injury. Is he going to play?
Well, that's the question everybody, I think, in town is wondering. And at this moment, there's no definitive word on tight end Sam Laporta. He suffered a hyperextended knee and bone bruise on Sunday against the Vikings. Dan Campbell said today, and he sounded a bit more optimistic, you might see Laporta. He said Laporta is getting better, but they're not there yet. We've got highlights of Jared Goff. He was a big subject for Dan Campbell today. That's because Goff did take the Rams to the Super Bowl. So when you talk big games and big moments, he's been in those big games and big moments. Campbell says Goff is the guy for this moment.
He's been to the big one, so he's dealt with this a number of times, not just the playoff wins. And, I'll bring this up again. He came to our place, NFC Championship game, and won the game for him, and so he's been in the big ones, and he understands what it is. He understands that you can't get too high or too low. You focus on your job.
All right. Good words for Mr. Goff. Lions currently favored by 3.5 points against the Rams. As you know, you could see the game here on Local 4. Pre-game show begins in about 10 minutes.
Love it.
It really started with the end of the last game, didn't it?
That is so true.
Yeah, really exciting stuff.
Speaking of that, we do have you covered for everything leading up to Sunday night's game right here on Local 4. Tune in to our All-In Playoff Edition special Sunday night at 6:30. We'll get you ready with special interviews and some of the Lions fans that make these games so great. Then be sure to stay with us after the game for Local 4 News, 11-ish, maybe even
11:30-ish, somewhere around in there.
We'll see.
Actually, whatever it takes if we're headed for a win, right? Now to the weather. Temperature still staying above the freezing mark as we take a look at, well, that's a different shade of gray from yesterday, I think, isn't it, from our Windsor Sky Cam?
That's right. The focus, though, is starting to shift to the weekend and snow in the forecast. So let's get over to Kim Adams. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. Can we put a filter on that?
Yeah,
there's got to be an Instagram filter for that sky cam, make it look a little brighter around here. It's just gray, another gloomy day, 38 downtown. At least temps are above freezing, but it's been windy today. 40-mile-per-hour gusts at city and metro airports, 32-mile-per-hour winds in Ann Arbor and 37 in Pontiac. And you combine that with the temp and you get wind chills that are pretty cold in the 20s. 25 is what it feels like right now in Pontiac and Howell, also in Ann Arbor. 28 at Metro and 29 the current wind chill down in Monroe. Tomorrow we have a little clipper coming through, so between about 4 or 5 in the morning and 11 o'clock in the morning, we'll see a quick light accumulation with highs in the afternoon at 37 degrees. We've got some snow ahead for Friday night and into Saturday, and then the Arctic air comes in, and boy, is it a blast of cold air with our highs by Tuesday only at 11 degrees. We'll talk about the storm for the weekend coming up.